What is up, everyone? Welcome to another episode of the Camper Report. Tonight we have got a busy night because the Niners, big, and I'm going to be on actually Tuesday night talking Niners versus Steelers with at Steelers Nation Australia. I believe he's called. Let me look back. Keep forgetting. Yeah. Steelers Nation Australia. Um, Link is in the description if you want to go check out his channel. His channel is really cool. Steelers Nation Australia. Sorry, I keep messing with my earbuds because it's like, do I need two in? I don't really need two in. But Steelers Nation Australia, I'll be going live on Tuesday night to kind of break the Niners versus Steelers matchup. So I'll be talking Niners then. For right now, we've got kind of first thing, a few announcements. This background will change very soon. I've also got a new intro coming on the way. But tonight we're going to talk NFL. I know the description said I'd be predicting the AFC playoff, obviously on I believe it was Saturday. It was last Monday. Last Monday, I predicted or Tuesday, I predicted with Pete Lucas from Niner Fanatic Podcast. I predicted the NFC playoff picture. Very soon, I'll be predicting the AFC playoff picture. I was going to do it tonight, but I'll probably just save that as like a separate video for tomorrow. Where I will be predicting the AFC playoff picture. And also more guests on the way. Obviously, as I said, Steelers Nation Australia. His YouTube channel is in the description. I'll be having him on Tuesday to discuss the Steelers versus Niners matchup. And then hopefully I'll probably tonight look into inviting some more guests on the show. It is slim pickings, though, because a lot of guys are now starting to get busy with their channels because it's closer now to the season. If you guys ever wondered, because I'm seeing this in my background, I've actually noticed it for the first time. If you ever wondered what this is a check that I received in the mail from a settlement from Celsius, because Celsius, if you guys don't know, the energy drink Celsius had a class action lawsuit or whatever it is, and they said if anyone has drank a Celsius in the last month or so, send us your receipt and we will give you a settlement of a certain amount of money. So I sent them my receipt of me buying a Celsius and me drinking it because I wanted to see how much money they would give me, and they ended up giving me a whole 18 cents. So yeah, Celsius, they're basically settling with a bunch of people that had bought their energy drink, and I had bought their energy drink, and they sent me 18 cents. So an 18-cent check. That is the smallest check I have ever received before, and I am hanging it on my wall because it is quite the check. 18 cents. Hey, money moves. But anyways, tonight we got a fun show. I'm not going to waste any more time. We've got true or false, the game true or false. Basically, I will name a topic and chat, you can chime in, but I'll name a topic and you can say if that's true or false. Obviously, I'll be answering that question as well. So for example, like we've got the Lions will have the best offense in the league this year, and I'll say if it's true or false. But that'll be later on. First, we've got breaking down some of the bigger, because this will probably be one of the few streams that I do before week one that actually covers these big games. So I'll be breaking down some of the top matchups for next week, because the NFL is back. I mean, we might not acknowledge it, but the NFL is back for week one. So the top matchups, let's start with the Chiefs and Lions. I consider this a really big matchup. It's Thursday night football, and wow, my Wi-Fi is terrible. It's Thursday night football. It's a huge matchup, and well, not huge, but we've got the defending Super Bowl champions on Thursday night, which is this Thursday. It's not too far away. We've got the Chiefs, and then we've got arguably without any dispute, one of the most hyped up teams, the Lions, for the 2023 season. So who wins this game? What are the keys for this matchup? the first key to me really is for the Chiefs. This is on the Chiefs side. The Chiefs receivers. You know, they lost Mecole Hardman. They obviously lost Tyreek Hill. They seemed last year to kind of come up with ways to replace Tyreek Hill, but now they lose another speedster in Mecole Hardman. And what I'm seeing from the Chiefs now is they're kind of back in the day with Tyreek Hill, they used to be like all of their receivers were speed. They didn't have a lot of size. They were a really fast offense as far as the receivers goes. And then they had one big kind of slot receiver, and that was Travis Kelce, slot receiver / tight end. Now I see the Chiefs a lot more balanced in their receiving room. They have big guys like Marquez Valdez-Scantling, and then they have speedy guys like Sky Moore. So the Chiefs are becoming a lot more balanced of a wide receiver room, especially the last few years. And really, I think this will be something that sets the Chiefs apart this week is their receivers. Because yes, their receivers are their receiving room, if you look at it, is really very unproven because they have a bunch of rookies and Travis Kelce. That's their receiving core. Obviously, Travis Kelce is a tight end, but you know what I mean. Their receiving core is very young. It's very inexperienced. We don't know what it's going to be. But I believe we did get a peek into what it was going to be in the preseason. Rashee Rice, although the Cardinals suck, but Rashee Rice against the Cardinals had, I believe it was 8 catches for 96 yards versus the Cardinals. So Rashee Rice could be a huge breakout player in this game, and the Lions are going to be scheming around Travis Kelce and other receivers. I could see Rashee Rice having a huge game against the Lions, who have an okay secondary. They obviously have Emmanuel Mosley. They have CJ Gardner-Johnson, but I do kind of expect, the Chiefs, even though the receiving core is unproven, I do expect the receiving core for the Chiefs to break out this year because they drafted Rashee Rice in the second round. Like I said, they have Sky Moore, an up-and-coming speed receiver. They have Marquez Valdez-Scantling, a very good solid slot receiver. But that's one of my kind of matchups. How are the Chiefs receivers going to do in this game? My second matchup is, I think, what is Jawan Taylor going to look like? Left tackle Jawan Taylor for the Chiefs going to look like? He obviously was a right tackle for the Jaguars, hit free agency. The Chiefs picked him up, are moving him to left tackle, and this will be one of his first games at left tackle in his career. Now, apparently he is doing really good at transitioning to left tackle, so I don't think he'll have a big problem, but he is going to be going up against some tough competition in the Lions defensive line. If you look at the Lions defensive line, especially their defensive ends, you have Aiden Hutchinson, who had 9 sacks last year. And you got to remember, the Lions defensive line last year, except from Aiden Hutchinson, wasn't great. So the fact that Aiden Hutchinson did have 9 sacks last year was very, very impressive. And that, Nick Bosa, the defensive player of the year, the defensive rookie of the year, hold on. I'm trying to think. Yeah, I think my earbud is working with just one. Anyways, Nick Bosa, the defensive player of the year, only had 9 sacks in his rookie year too. So Aiden Hutchinson, very good defensive end, up and coming defensive end. I think he could be a defensive player of the year one day. But you also have James Houston from the Lions on the other side. And James Houston, he's a defensive end from the Lions. He had 8 sacks last year and he only played 7 games. So you have Aiden Hutchinson and James Houston both rushing the passer, both rushing Patrick Mahomes, and both of them had over 8 sacks last year. So what is that entire Chiefs offensive line, and especially Jawan Taylor, going to look like? That's a big question mark because Jawan Taylor, he hasn't played a lot at left tackle. So he's going to be going up against tough competition right from the gate, right from the start against Aiden Hutchinson. So that's key number 2. Key number 3, how did the Lions scheme against Travis Kelce? Jack Campbell, obviously, he's a guy who, when the Lions drafted him, I believe it was 18th overall. Sorry, guys. When the Lions drafted him, I believe it was 18th overall in last year's draft. Jack Campbell, linebacker out of Iowa. A lot of people, I didn't honestly expect them to draft a linebacker in round 1, pick number 18 when JSN, I believe, was still on the board. But they did. Jack Campbell, linebacker out of Iowa. And from what I've read about him, he's a he's a great all-around linebacker. He can play defensive end and he can also cover. I mean, you look at Jack Campbell, I believe he had a 4.65 40 speed, and when Jack Campbell was targeted by receivers, he had a 70.6 QB rating allowed, which is really good. But obviously, that was in the Big Ten. Jack Campbell was playing in the Big Ten. And now he's going to play in his rookie debut. He's going to play Patrick Mahomes, the best quarterback in the NFL, and Travis Kelce, the best tight end in the NFL. So it's a lot different. So my big key is, will the Chiefs pick apart Jack Campbell? Because Jack Campbell and CJ Gardner-Johnson are going to probably be splitting reps on who follows Travis Kelce around. So those two guys are going to have the biggest job of the game, and that is shutting down Travis Kelce. I don't happen. I think this is going to be a Lions major kryptonite because, yes, Jack Campbell is a really good linebacker who has really good coverage skills. He's not going to shut down Travis Kelce, and it's hard to put a lot on a rookie who it's his first NFL game, and you're asking him to go out and cover Travis Kelce. So the Tommy Huxley coming in saying the Giants lost to the Padres. He's meaning Padres, but I don't really follow a lot of baseball, although I have been to a baseball game. And obviously, as you know, I live in Colorado, and I got these free tickets to go to a Rockies versus Giants game, and everyone around me was cheering for the Rockies because it was in Rockies Stadium. It was in Denver. And obviously the Rockies suck, but the Giants, I knew they were from San Francisco. And, I was secretly cheering for the Giants because why would I cheer for the Rockies? And so every time the Giants ended up blowing out the Rockies, but every time the Giants would score, I'd secretly be like, oh yeah, baby. Even though I hate baseball. I hate watching baseball. Because it is so boring. But enough of that. Moving on to the next matchup, Bengals versus Browns. This I believe game, and this to me was looking at the slate of games. There one of them was Lions versus, which I just covered. Another to cover, and then there was Bills versus Jets. Then the other one was Packers. I'm not going to be covering Bears Packers. The thumbnail, I don't know why I did, but let's break this. My first key is Browns have to run the ball. They have one of the best running backs in the game in Nick Chubb. And frankly, if you turn, real quick, chat, let me know how my stream is doing because it says up here on my up left corner that my connection is unstable. I might have to switch to my hotspot. Let me quickly do that. Well, I don't know if it would cut out. Personal hotspot. Let me know how my Wi-Fi is doing because it's not acting good at all. So, okay. It seems like it's acting stable now. Cool. It says it's stable now, but my Wi-Fi is acting up. Anyways, back to the Bengals versus Browns. The Browns are going to have to run the ball because Bengals are one of the best, or I would consider them the best passing offense in the league with just a plethora of weapons. And so if you're the Browns, you have to you can't turn this into an air raid game, because if you turn this into an air raid game, the Bengals will get the best of you because the Bengals, they can play that game. The Bengals are a passing team. They can play that game. So if you're the Browns, you use Nick Chubb, you use and abuse Nick Chubb, and that is how you win the game. Physicality is how you win the game. My other key, this one goes to the Bengals. So that's kind of a Browns key, but this one goes to the Bengals. Can you shut down Myles Garrett and company the whole Browns defensive line, one of the best in the league, can you shut down Myles Garrett and company if you're the Bengals offensive line? Now, obviously, the Bengals have a much improved offensive line. They signed Orlando Brown in the offseason, who's one of the best left tackles in the league. But can you shut down Myles Garrett and that whole Browns defensive line? The Browns also have Zadarius Smith, picked him up. So you basically have 2 top 15 edge rushers in the league. And that's something that's scary because I think, yes, the Bengals will move the ball on this Browns defense because the Browns secondary is not great, but I'll get into that in a minute. But man, if the Browns defensive line can get to Joe Burrow fast enough, you get Joe Burrow under a little bit of pressure and you really start to freak him out. So I honestly think that that's really one thing. And I'll bring up a stat for you guys. The last time the Browns beat the Bengals, which was last year, Burrow got sacked 5 times by the Browns defensive line. The Bengals are 1-4 against opponents when Burrow is sacked more than 4 times. The Bengals, last time they played them, last time they beat the Bengals, the Browns, last time they beat the Bengals, had 5 sacks on Burrow, and they won. The Browns won. And the Bengals are 1-4 in games where Joe Burrow gets sacked more than 4 times. So, at least in 2022, they were 1-4. And so that could be a huge key as well. That's kind of like some analytics there, if you look at it. So yeah, defensive line versus the Bengals offensive line. The last key, this kind of goes to the Browns, is Denzel Ward versus Jamar Chase. Now, Denzel Ward this is why I say the Browns defensive line is really good. Their cornerbacks are not so good because the Browns' number 1 corner, Denzel Ward, is last year allowed 35 receptions on 59 targets. So basically, when targeted, he allowed over 50% of completions going to him. 35 completions he allowed, over 59 targets on 59 targets. So over 50%, which isn't very good. And to give you a stat, that is tied for 67th in the NFL, Denzel Ward. So I expect if the Browns defensive line does not get to Joe Burrow this game, I expect Joe Burrow to tear the Browns secondary apart because, as I just named out to you, the Browns' number 1 cornerback is not very good, and Jamar Chase should have a field day. So yeah, those are my key matchup. We have one more matchup. If you it's not letting me switch banners here. Anyways, what is up, Ben? What is up, Ben of the show, The Camper Report? It's all good. Froze? Man, my freaking Wi-Fi is terrible. Here. Well, I don't think it's bad. Hey guys, let me know how my Wi-Fi is doing because this is absolute terrible. But yeah, Bills versus Jets. We got that matchup. So obviously, this game is a Monday night game, so it should be later on in the week. My first matchup, to be honest, I'm not going to spend much on this game, but if Monday Night Football were ever this exciting, this is the game because Bills versus Jets, this is a hell of an opener on Monday Night Football. That is for sure. He says you're good now. Yeah, it's going in and out. Don't know what's happening. My Wi-Fi CenturyLink is absolutely terrible, but Bills versus Jets. First matchup, which is obvious, I think, to everyone. Stephon Diggs versus Sauce Gardner. That should be a lot of fun. Second matchup, Rodgers versus Matt Milano. Matt Milano, obviously, all-pro or Pro Bowl Bills linebacker. He's going to have just the job of kind of keeping Aaron Rodgers under wraps. And he's also going to have the job of keeping covering Dalvin Cook. So that should be a lot of fun. But my main key is Tre'Davious White versus Garrett Wilson. This is kind of on one side, you have Stephon Diggs and you have Sauce Gardner. And then on the other side, you have Tre'Davious White versus Garrett Wilson. You know, those are two exciting matchups to watch. Whoever gets, like, if Garrett Wilson gets the better of Tre'Davious White, it's going to be talked about in those two camps for weeks to come, because the Jets versus Bills this year is going to be an amazing rivalry. Two teams with a tremendous amount of talent facing off, and I can't wait to see it. Another kind of thing to look for in this game is Jordan Poyer rushing off of the edge, or just rushing in general, or just the Bills sending a lot of blitzes on defense. And here's my reasoning. What kind of rattles Aaron Rodgers the most? This team should know. This team has done a great job every time they faced Aaron Rodgers. And that is pressure. Pressure. And, the Jets' offensive line is a huge question mark. That's one of the only question marks they have on their team is their offensive line. How does Mekhi Becton do at left tackle? Ben, did you get a haircut? He says. Grandizer. Yes, I did, actually. Got a nice little fade. It was a mid-taper. No, mid-fade. I think it's called just mid-fade. But I'll say, if the Bills can manage, I don't think if they just rush forward, they're going to get pressure on Aaron Rodgers. I don't think the Jets' O-line is that bad. But I do think that, so I think first game, I think they're going to be looking at it get it out of Aaron Rodgers' hands quickly. They obviously have a guy who is great at, Dalvin Cook. He'll be getting checked down to a lot. They have Garrett Wilson, a great short slot receiver. And he'll be getting a lot of checkdowns as well. So they'll be getting it out of his hands quick. But I think the Bills, I don't think they're going to be able to get pressure with 4. So if they don't, they're going to be sending a lot of blitzes. And that's how you get to Aaron Rodgers, is with blitzing and getting pressure on him. So yeah, those are kind of my keys for this next game. For this game, Bills versus Jets. Ben, I already got that one. Poor Wi-Fi is like a meaningful diabolical. Poor Wi-Fi is like a meaningful diabolical. What do you mean by that? Tommy Hucks, I'm back, ass cheekers. Man, hey, Tommy has kind of become a regular the last few weeks, so I thank you. Thank you for your support, Like, at this point, I've kind of just accepted Tommy for who he is. He's going to come in with these funny ass jokes, and it's funny, but that's Tommy Huxley for you guys, that's just what he does. And it's amazing. Thank you. Never lose it. If the Finns got Bosa, that's a Super Bowl team. Yeah, hey, let's quickly touch on Bosa, because I didn't have that as a topic, but it seems like every single day, hit the like, y'all. Yeah, thank you, Tommy. It seems like every single day there's new Bosa news. At first, it was like the Niners are close to reaching an extension with Bosa. And then it was like, oh, they're far apart by $4 million. They can't reach an agreement. And now it seems like the 49ers and Nick Bosa, like John Lynch a few days ago was caught saying, oh, the Niners, there's no chance that Nick Bosa misses week 1. And then now it's like, now there's reports coming out of the Niners camp that it's not a certainty that he makes it to week 1, Nick Bosa, that they extend him by week 1. So I would like to think that's not coming out of John Lynch's mouth. Here's my theory on it. I think John Lynch is optimistic that Bosa is going to get extended by week 1, but I think there's probably people in the organization that are telling Ian Rappaport and guys like that, I don't know if we'll get him extended by week 1, but I feel like John Lynch, if he said in his presser, there's no certainty that we're going to extend Nick Bosa by week 1, man, the media would have a field day. So he kind of has to say he's getting extended by week 1 to kind of calm everyone down. You know what I'm saying? It's his job to keep the peace. Um, hey, my wife says I'm not funny at all. Yeah. Okay. David, that's Tommy Huxley. David McNiner, thanks for coming in. What's up, Ben? Let's fucking go Niners. I shouldn't cuss on this channel. I think that's what you meant. I think that's the little abbreviation. Bosa's agent is leaking information. Yeah, that's probably who it is too. Now I heard Bosa wants 32 million a year. Jeez. Get it done. That's Tommy Huxley. Yeah, probably. I mean, at this point you can't really trade him. And I saw, Grant Cohn keeps saying trade him for an elite quarterback. And I'm like, nobody's going to trade an elite quarterback this late in the offseason. and maybe you could trade him for Dak Prescott, but would you really want to trade Dak? I wouldn't want to trade Dak Prescott for Nick Bosa. Dak Prescott isn't an elite quarterback, and you can't even win a Super Bowl with Dak Prescott. So why would you trade him for Dak Prescott? Do you want to buy a TV? I got a TV in the back. It's HD, $50, my bro. No, I actually have a 4K TV that my brother bought for the house, and it is freaking nice. So thank you for the offer. My mouth is really quickly. But yeah, let's get on to the next topic. More left is projecting the AFC playoff picture. I will probably be projecting the picture. I won't say separate video of it. So tonight was kind of more of just like breaking down the games and some recent NFL news. So I'll be coming out with a playoff picture because last Tuesday, with Pete Lucas from Niner Fanatic Podcast, we came out with the NFC playoff picture. Go back to that live stream. And I was going to do the AFC playoff picture today, but I'll be doing it probably tomorrow because there's too many topics to talk about. Jonathan Taylor is not getting traded. You guys probably all heard this news. This happened a few days ago. But I did want to touch on it because I haven't touched on it yet on this channel. My personal opinion on this is, at least the Colts have Jonathan Taylor the first year that Anthony Richardson is starting, because that's really important. That is. When you have a rookie quarterback, you want to set him up for success. You don't want to make him look like a piece of garbage. And Jonathan Taylor, as much as the Colts want to trade him, is the top 3 running back in the league. So he's going to make your rookie quarterback, Anthony Richardson, look amazing. Because you can just hand it off to him and you'll take it 6 yards, barring injury. So Jonathan Taylor is not getting traded because at one point the Colts let him go to other teams and they were like, hey, go seek a trade. But now it seems like he's not getting traded, which that's smart. Really, really, really smart. Because if you were to trade Jonathan Taylor, there's nobody on that team, like no running back on that team that could carry the load. Nyheim Hines isn't a workhorse running back. So good for the Colts. Jonathan Taylor will hit free agency next year. If you can't re-sign him, which you probably won't be able to, then you could always draft another running back. I wouldn't ever recommend doing that, but I don't know what the hell the Colts are doing because they are letting one of the best running backs just walk like that in free agency. And the thing that's most weird to me is you've seen what the other running backs are getting. Saquon Barkley, Josh Jacobs. And they're not even getting that much money. The top running backs are not getting much money. So what is Jonathan Taylor wanting? Like $13-14 million. So if you're the owner, Jim Irsay, why don't you just give him that money? Like, he's probably not wanting much because he looks around and he sees Josh Jacobs and Saquon Barkley both getting terrible. What I can get. My guess is he's probably wanting like 15 million. What Christian McCaffrey's making. Why don't you give it to one of the best running backs in the league? It's a mystery to me, man. It's a mystery. So it doesn't make sense. Last topic of the day. And guys, by the way, thanks for the topic comments. Carcast coming in saying yo to you. Yeah, thanks for all the watchers live. Josh Jacobs, because I was going to actually review, and I could quickly review my fantasy team that I have on ESPN. But Josh, this is kind of a topic that has been picking my mind because, oh, and we forgot to do, actually, you know what? Before we get to this topic, this is not the last topic. My bad. Let's play true or false. And guys, if you're in the comments, you can chime along with me, say if it's true or false. So I'm basically, this is true or false. These are different bold predictions that I grabbed off of the internet that people are saying, and I'm going to react to them and say if it's true or false. I have 3 bold predictions. So the first one, Lions will have the best offense in the league. This is 100% true. This is 100% true, especially late in the year. I think the Lions could start off a little bit slow, but here are the weapons. Jamison Williams got suspended for 6 games this year. Once he comes back, that receiving core is going to be very good. You have Amon-Ra St. Brown. You have Jamison Williams, who hasn't proven a lot, but has had, in college, he had a major talent. He was drafted first round. So you have 2, you obviously have one of the best receivers, Amon-Ra St. Brown, and you have Jamison Williams, who is coming back from suspension after week 6. Along with that, you have a great receiving back, Jahmyr Gibbs. You have David Montgomery. You have a top 5 offensive line. And as long as Jared Goff can kind of just do his thing, be consistent, yeah, the Lions, especially in the regular season, will have the best offense in the league by far. I think they easily have a chance. This is easily true. Because you look at the other offenses and it's like, yeah, the Eagles, but the Eagles have a question mark at running back. They have their top 2 running backs are Rashad Penny and DeAndre Swift, 2 very injury-prone running backs. So the Lions, I don't know. I think the Lions actually don't have a lot of question marks on this offense. And man, it's going to be exciting to watch. They also have Josh Reynolds, who is kind of an older receiver, and then they also have Sam Laporta, who they drafted in the 2nd round. And a lot of Niners fans were obsessed with him, tight end Sam Laporta from Iowa. If you watch his film, he is a nasty runner. He catches the ball and he runs over 5 guys. Physical guy. And if there's anything Jared Goff likes more, it's you can dump off to a tight end and he can take it for 10, 15 yards. So Sam Laporta should be a breakout player this year for the Lions as a rookie. Should be getting a lot of work in that system. So you have 5 or 6 weapons that are all really, really solid. Ben, the prospect that was Joey Fisher. Yeah, he's talking about the Niners right tackle Joey Fisher that they got as an undrafted free agent and now got cut. And I don't think he made it to the practice squad. Yeah, I liked him. But Grandizer says false. What's your reasoning on that? False. Jared Goof is their QB. Yeah, but I feel like you give Jared Goff a good offensive line and he is a really solid quarterback. Plus, they have 6 potentially elite weapons. I think late in the year, the Lions could really, because when Jamison Williams comes back, I think Lions will really be a good offense. True or false, Ben looks older when he wears his glasses. True. I hate wearing glasses. I have contacts in right now. Although the non-perks of the sucky thing about contacts is they dry out so bad. Sometimes it's unbearable. Right now they're drying out, actually. I probably need to go put eye drops in after this show. Next one. Tight ends will fully embrace the rebuild at the deadline. This one I think is true as well. They kind of are, the last few years they've been in this weird lull, I don't know if that's the right word. But they've been in this weird state of, I call it mid. They've been super mid for the last 2 years. And them trading them getting DeAndre Hopkins was really, I don't think, a big deal. As long as you have Ryan Tannehill and they don't have a good offensive, they really have DeAndre Hopkins, Derrick Henry, and who else? They don't have that good offensive line. They have Treylon Burks, I guess, as a second receiver. So they don't have a terrible receiving core, But like, I don't think DeAndre Hopkins moves the needles enough. As long as you have Ryan Tannehill is very similar to Jared Goff. Behind a really good offensive line, they're a solid team. But the difference between Jared Goff and Ryan Tannehill is Jared Goff has way more weapons and a way better offensive line, and Ryan Tannehill doesn't have a good offensive line and doesn't have as good weapons. So yes, I think by the end of the deadline, here's a sneaky take. You could see Derrick Henry being shipped just like Christian McCaffrey was last year at the deadline. So yes, I do think that is absolutely true. Let me know what you guys think. Let me click this off. Tommy Huxley says he was picked up by Pittsburgh, I think. Who? Can't remember. Goof, he means Goff, but Goof, he was, joke. Goof was good last season. Yeah, he was. He was good. Like, Jared Goff gets way too much hate for the last few years on the Rams. The Rams have never really had a good offensive line. You surround Jared Goff with a good offensive line. And another thing that I'm excited with Jared Goff is he now has, I think, one of the best receiving rookie running backs in the league in Jahmyr Gibbs. That guy is, I mean, you watch his college highlights and that he is a check down master. He'll get the ball. And I mean, Jahmyr Gibbs' speed is elite. All Jared Goff has to check the ball down to Jahmyr Gibbs, and Jahmyr Gibbs is going to take it 20 yards. So like, yeah. I just wrote false in case you froze on my side. Oh. Titans window has closed. They had their chance and lost versus KC. Tannehill cannot go in a shootout with pass-happy quarterback. Oh, no, absolutely not. Yeah, I agree with you there, Grandizer. Fisher, Joey Fisher. Oh, that's he was saying. He was picked up by Pittsburgh, and then he later said Joey Fisher. Okay. Yeah, that's too bad. That's too bad. Joey Fisher is gone fishing, literally. Yeah. Next one. Houston is a sneaky playoff contender, and I'm going to say this with one word. This is the last true or false. No, they're not. I know they're getting Laramie Tunsil back, and he's a really good left tackle, but hell no. Laramie Tunsil in that last preseason game, or maybe it was the preseason game before that, wasn't playing, but the rest of their starting offensive line was playing with CJ Stroud. And let me tell you, that offensive line, except from Laramie Tunsil, is one of the worst in the league. Not good. And the weapons that here's the thing. What's going to happen for CJ Stroud? Let me pull it up real quick. What's going to happen for CJ Stroud for them to become playoff contenders? There's a few things that's going to have to happen. Dameon Pierce will have to be a workhorse running back. And yes, he was like a top 15 running back last year, but he got injured. And the Texans don't have a lot of depth at that position, except Dameon Pierce. So, and I guess I'm pretty sure they got Devin Singletary. Yeah. But he's not a workhorse running back either. And Dameon Pierce gets injured a lot. So, or got injured last year. So, it's like for them to be a playoff contender, they're going to have to rely on Dameon Pierce to have one of the best seasons ever by a running back. The receivers that he has, yes, CJ Stroud has Tank Dell, he has Robert Woods, but they're not like elite. And then he doesn't have a good offensive line, and their defense, will probably be pretty good because they now have Will Anderson and the guy Derek Stingley. But the AFC is so stacked. I don't think so. Tommy Huxley. Detroit is winning that division, Ben. Detroit. Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Yes. They are winning it. Yeah. I think it's going to go. I think the NFC North, even though we all think they're a trash division, I think it's very good. I think Jordan Love, from what we saw with him in preseason, was exciting. I think it's going to go. This is the order. I think it's going to go Lions, Green Bay, Chicago, and then and Minnesota. I did see the Minnesota's tight end got extended, but Minnesota is going to have an elite offense, but their defense is going to be crap. And so I think they're going to finish last in the division. I think it's going to be very close. I think the Bears are going to be the odd man out of the NFC playoffs. I think the two teams making the playoffs in that division are going to be Lions and Green Bay. But I think like the NFC is an underrated, like they're kind of stacked too. Like the AFC is stacked, but the NFC is also very stacked. 5-12 Texans. Yeah, I could see that. Ben, which team should embrace the suck the most this season? Texans, Colts, Raiders, Cardinals, Patriots, any others? Cardinals for sure. That's an easy one. Then I would probably say Patriots. That team is so bad in so many ways. Like they have no really that good weapons. They're not exciting ever. Like the Patriots are like, wow, yeah. And then I'd probably say Colts. I'm trying to think of any other teams. I think the Raiders could be okay. I'll get to that topic in a second. That'll be my last topic. I think the Raiders could be okay. It's just it depends how many games Jimmy Garoppolo plays. Probably won't be many. Fraudinals and Texans. Yeah, I mean, yeah. Texans. Yeah, I think the Texans should definitely embrace it as well. I'm just trying to think of any other team. I think the Titans should embrace the suck. You're missing out on that one. The Vikings. I feel like the Vikings will then just later in the year are just going to fall apart. Yeah, I think the Vikings should embrace it as well. Rams, yeah, the Rams. We're forgetting about the Rams. The Lambs are going 6-11. I think they won't be that bad, but I think they'll probably. I think their ceiling is like 8-9, and their floor is like 5-12. But I don't know. I think the Rams are gonna win like 7 games. I don't know. I think the Rams are better than a lot of people keep them credit for. They just need their like star power weapons to kind of stay healthy and they'll be okay. But again, they don't have much depth and their defense is like terrible except for Aaron Donald. Minnesota, Lions, Green Bay, Bears. That's your order? A6. By the way, thanks for coming in. I think I've seen you before. And guys, we've got quite a few people in the chat, so thank you for the support. A6 says, I think this is his order of NFC teams, NFC North teams: Minnesota, Lions, Green Bay, Bears. Hell no. What? That's retarded, man. And no offense. I appreciate everyone's position. And actually, I shouldn't say that's retarded because everyone's position is valued. Everyone's viewpoint is valued on this channel. But wow, Minnesota? Man. And no, I don't mean what? I don't. Tajawana. A6 is wrong. Yeah, I'd have to agree with him on that. Sorry. Yeah, I don't know. Honestly, like I said, every viewpoint is appreciated. I probably shouldn't have reacted that strongly. Wow, Minnesota. I'm going Lions, Vikings, Green Bay, Chicago. Why is everyone saying Chicago's last? They have like, I think, top 10 quarterback. They have DJ Moore. They have Darnell Mooney. Like, I don't think they're that bad. And they definitely improved a little bit on their offensive line with drafting Darnell Wright. They got a new coach. Yeah, I don't know. The Lambs have nobody, LOL. Yeah, 7-10 ceiling. Yeah, I think it's like an 8-9, 7-10 ceiling for the Rams. Teams that it should embrace the suck with the Camper Report. Maybe I should make that as a video. Smash the like button, everyone. Yeah, thank you. Brian Culp coming in here. We have a lot of people in here tonight, so thank you. And by the way, A6, I did not mean it in any mean way. I'm disagreeing with your point strongly. So don't be offended. I hope I didn't offend you. Bustin' fails is horrible. Okay. He means Justin Fields. My computer is about to die. Real quick, I'll put this charger in, and then we'll get to the next topic. Okay. Moving on. Green Bay is going to win the North. Maybe. I think it could very well be possible. But at this point, I think the Lions have two really good edge rushers. You have Aiden Hutchinson and then the guy I mentioned before, if any of you guys were not in here before. We have Aiden Hutchinson and James Houston, who had 8 sacks last year in 7 games. So, I think their defense has definitely improved a little bit, the Lions. They also have the guy that they drafted from Alabama, the safety. They got Emmanuel Mosley, CJ Gardner-Johnson. So their corners won't be bad this year. Their defense, I think, will probably be average. And so if you can at least have an average defense, their offense is going to be elite. So Green Bay, I think, will do very good. But I just think as far as offensive firepower, I think the Lions got us there. With the Bears, it depends on how it all fits together. They're a huge question mark. A lot of talent, but this is Grandizer. A lot of talent, but we've seen teams fall with a lot of talent. Wait and see. Yeah, they're kind of a huge question mark. I don't think they're making the playoffs. I think they're going to go like 8-9, which is a huge improvement from last year. But Miami 10-7, Grandizer. Yeah, I could see that playing in the AFC East. Hardest division in the NFL, in my opinion. Will Amon-Ra St. Brown go over 1,000 yards this season? I think he could start off really fast, but then you get Jamison Williams back. You have Sam Laporta. You have Jahmyr Gibbs, who's going to be a major feature back, I think, later on in the year. Rookies always seem to start off a little bit slow. Man, 1,000 yards. What did he have last year? Amon-Ra St. Brown. By the way, guys, thank you for the comments. Amon-Ra St. Brown. I need to do school tonight too, man. This is going to be a late night. I've been kind of falling behind. Stats. Let me see here. Stats. Yeah, he did. He did in 2022 have 1,000. Yeah, I'll say over 1,000, maybe slightly over 1,000. Oh, okay. So he was saying beforehand that the Green Bay winning the division would be BS because Jordan Love is a bust. I don't think so, man. I think Jordan Love is. We'll see. We'll see on that one. Niners ceiling is 11-6. Really? The travel is just too much. Yeah, for sure. They have a lot more East Coast games this year. Grandizer 12, I need to get you on the channel sometimes. I've been trying to get. That's what Brian Culp says. I've been trying to get Grandizer on for like the past year, and he's like a regular of the show, and he'll never come on, man. So good luck doing that. But if you get him on, hats off to you. I want to get him on. Last topic of the day. Josh Jacobs or Devante Adams, which one is featured the most? This is kind of an interesting topic, and I know that not a bunch of Niners fans are thinking about this. And by the way, guys, since I have a lot more people watching right now than I did at the beginning of the stream, this background is going to be gone next time you see me live. And then I also will have a new intro for you guys, probably. I need to probably finish that tonight. So, but I do think that, so Josh Jacobs or Devante Adams, the reason why I brought up this topic, and because I have Devante Adams in fantasy, and I was thinking, now that Josh Jacobs got extended by 1 year, I was thinking, who's the top guy? Because we obviously know that, Jimmy Garoppolo isn't good unless he is a running back. He's in a run-first system. So if if that's the case, then you could see Josh Jacobs being the feature guy in the offense. Or is it Devante Adams? You know, because with Deebo Samuel, Jimmy Garoppolo also made Deebo Samuel look like freaking amazing. I don't think Devante Adams has the Deebo Samuel impact. So if I had to answer this question, who gets featured the most, I'm going to have to say Josh Jacobs. I think Josh Jacobs will get more carries, more targets. And yes, Devante Adams, you see him catch slants over the middle. Devante Adams is a great all-around receiver. But I just think that Devante Adams, although he's great, but I don't think he has the same skill set as Deebo Samuel and Jimmy Garoppolo. Something about me tells me that Hunter Renfrow almost, because you know what this kind of reminds me of? Hunter Renfrow and Devante Adams. Hunter Renfrow reminds me of Taylor. What was his first name? That guy that we had the first year that Jimmy Garoppolo came. Trent Taylor. Trent Taylor was kind of like that slot receiver that Jimmy Garoppolo loved throwing to because he was a check down machine. Josh Jacobs, and I feel like Josh Jacobs and Hunter Renfrow are going to be like two main feature guys in this system because Jimmy Garoppolo, Hunter Renfrow is a slant / check down machine. And he doesn't like, he is exactly what Trent Taylor was back in 2018 or something. So yes, Devante Adams, I think, is going to get a lot of red zone looks. I think he still will get his targets, but I honestly think that people are sleeping on Hunter Renfrow a lot because he's just really good in the slot, and Jimmy Garoppolo seems to love slot receivers. So that's honestly why I would say Josh Jacobs in this system. And it sucks for me because I drafted Devante Adams in one of my leagues. And this league, I am paying $20 to be in. And the winner gets like $200. So hopefully I am wrong because I have Devante Adams. Let's see here. Comments are kind of, where was I? Ben, realistically, no homerism here. Where will the 49ers rank offensively this year? If they are not top 10, what needs to be done after this season? It's a very good question. Man, that is a good question. I'll get to it real quick. Let me get to the rest of the comments. I hate the Packers. Yeah, me too. Ben, you have a great show. Bryant, he says, Tommy Huxley says, Bryant Culp, you should have Ben on your show. I wish I could have Ben on. DM me on Twitter. Ben is very smart and intelligent about the Niners. Thank you. Thank you. Ben, Josh Jacobs kicked our ass last year. Yeah, he did. Doctor, you have about 30 or so minutes to live. If there's something you want to do, now would be the time. Now would be the time. Me opens the camper report live stream video. Yeah. Doctor, I'm sorry, but that's longer than your time limit. Grim Reaper listening with me. I can't wait. The camper report. Yeah, I know what you're meaning. It's kind of hard to read like that whole thing, but so basically what he's saying is he's going to open my channel when he's dying. Thank you very much, Grandizer. I appreciate it. I appreciate the support. I wouldn't recommend doing that, but hey, I'm glad you like the show. Ben, so back to this. Ranking offensively, I believe last year, yeah, they were in the top 10, especially when Brock Purdy came in. I saw something on Twitter. I think it was Ryan G. Hensley who tweeted this. Shout out to him. Friend of the show. Brock Purdy, even though he doesn't have a good deep ball, he still is mobile. He still is accurate over the middle. He still, if he's given enough time, does have a decent deep ball. And from anything we saw in preseason, I think he still has his confidence. Like he ran for a touchdown run in the preseason and he didn't have to. He was putting his body in harm's way. So I still think he has the confidence. He has I don't think the injury, I mean, I think it did affect him, but I don't think the injury affected him that much. I think the 49ers will rank top 10. because if Brock Purdy is anything like he was last year, this team is scoring a lot of points. And I think Kyle Shanahan is going to get deep into his bag early in the season, so he won't start off slow because the schedule is brutal down the road. So I do think we are top 10. What needs to be done after this season? Get a right tackle, please. But we don't know what Colton McKivitz is. Not even that. Not even that. It's not even get a right tackle. It's just get more tackle depth. Do you know who our backup quarterbacks are? Our backup quarterbacks are Matt Pryor and Jalen Moore, two guys who shouldn't be in the NFL. No offense to them, but they really shouldn't. They both suck. So what needs to be done after this season? Get more tackle depth because, oh my gosh, terrible, terrible. Yeah, so I do think we'll be top 10. And then as far as what needs to happen, we need to get more tackles. Just draft them. What else? Saucy coming in here. What did I miss? Oh, you missed a lot, man. We have had a great show tonight. You have missed a lot. You've missed breaking down the big games for this next week. You've missed Jonathan Taylor talk. You've missed Josh Jacobs and Devante Adams talk. You've missed true or false. A bunch of things. Hey, but you can always skip back. Obviously, after the show, I'm going to be putting show chapters or tags so you can just skip to where you want to. And then obviously I'll be posting a few clips after the fact. So just go watch it afterwards or skip back now. I don't care. Bebop Jones, nice to see you again. Hopping in here says, go Niners. Yeah, we've almost hit an hour here. I might have to get off soon. It is pretty late over here in Colorado. It's 10:30 as we speak. Reread it. No, it's a compliment that the Grim Reaper would wait till your video ends and Grim Reaper will watch you with me. Okay. Yeah, okay. Ben, what does Grant charge to do a show? That's Paulu coming in saying that. Well, if your personal, like what I would do, he actually had a cone phone today. And he takes callers and stuff. And usually during the season, he has a cone phone once a week during the weekends. Usually it's on Saturday, early morning Saturday, cone phone. So what I would do is I would call into the cone phone a few times, get to know Grant a little bit. And then I don't know if I should give out his personal information, but get friends with like just start to, if you have a good take and you call into his show on Saturday mornings, the cone phone, he'll like you. And then you can DM him on Twitter and he'll probably respond. I mean, honestly, he doesn't charge anything if you have good takes to bring to the table. Among his limitations, confidence will never be one for Brock. That is his best strength. Yeah, that's something that Jimmy Garoppolo never had, but Brock will never lack confidence. Face blue smiling. I don't know what that means, but if you're smiling, thank you. The Camper Report projected 49ers team leaders, pass rushing, receptions, offensive snaps, etc. I'll go rapid fire on this one. Passing, obviously Brock Purdy. I don't think he's going to have less passing than Sam Darnold. I do feel like he's going to stay healthy for most of the year. Rushing. No, I'm not going to say Christian McCaffrey. That's a homer pick, and no. I'm going to say rushing is going to go to Jordan Mason. You know, usually Niners running backs tend to be very injured beginning of the year, and I think that's going to happen again. And honestly, Elijah Mitchell, yes, he's healthy for week 1, but I don't think it's going to stay like that. So I'm going to say a sneaky pick is Jordan Mason. I hope that doesn't happen, but yes. And then receptions, Brandon Ayuk or Ronnie Bell. I don't think that I think Deebo Samuel's going to be used in a lot of ways. I don't think he's going to be the leader in receptions. I think Ronnie Bell, if a few injuries go down to George Kittle or Brandon Ayuk or Deebo Samuel, Ronnie Bell is going to be called up and his number is going to be called because Ronnie Bell really has an all-around perfect game. He has speed, he has length, he has agility, over the middle strength. Ronnie Bell would be another sleeper pick, which that's also a kind of a homer pick because I watched him a lot at Michigan. Offensive snaps, the most in offensive snaps. Who was it last year? I don't even know. I'm going to say Jake Brendel. He doesn't seem to get injured a lot. The center. Ben, Colton ain't it. Yeah, I'm starting to feel that way too, Tommy Huxley says. Ben, you need to try to do the Krug show. I did actually do Paulu, I'm trying to get your comments as fast as possible. If you're still watching, I did actually get the Krug show on. The Krug show, I had him on like over a year ago, and it was before he really got super big. Now I try to DM him on Twitter and he never responds because he's like super big. So I might try to get him on if he responds. Why are all these emails all of a sudden popping up? God. You missed Ben talking about his haircut. That's fire. It's fire. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, you did miss that, Paulu. You did. That's what Grandizer said. Tommy Huxley, Jalen Moore isn't that bad, but not good. LOL. Did you see Jalen Moore during the preseason? He looked bad to me. Bebop Jones, the GOAT. Yeah, thank you, Bebop Jones. You are actually a Rams fan, I think. Are you? No, maybe that's somebody else. Never mind. Where in Colorado are you? Western Slope, near Paulu says, where in Colorado are you? Western Slope, Colorado, near more towards Utah, actually. Saucy, you missed Ben saying how much he loves the Seahawks. What? That's not true. Although I do think they're going to be good. Grant doesn't charge. Yeah, he doesn't charge. But it is kind of hard to get a hold of him. And honestly, like I started following Grant like super early when he had like 5,000 subscribers, and I was one of the first Cone phone callers. So, but yeah, honestly, it should be pretty easy to get him on. You just have to ask. Like I said, I would call into his Cone phone and kind of like get to know him a little bit. Ben, good luck to your 49ers this year. Hope this is your year. So wait, why don't you hope this is your year? I thought you wanted the Dolphins to win the Super Bowl. So you get that gorilla off your back. Thank you. He's a Dolphins fan, and he hopes it's the 49ers year to win the Super Bowl. I don't get that. Grant hasn't charged anyone I know. CG Bryant Culp. CG Ruthless Sports and Bryant Culp. Grant is a good guy. He is a great guy. I love Grant Cohn's a great guy. I don't see Mason having an injury. That says Saucy. Super thick and durable. Yeah. Ben, your surprise 49ers rookie of the year. I'm going to say Ronnie Bell. Yeah. Tons of confidence. Saucy says Ronnie Bell is another dude with tons of confidence. Yep. If he doesn't get injured, because he did have injury issues in the past for Michigan. Ronnie Bell is a dog. He is. Tommy Huxley says. Grandizer says, Rick and roll, Ronnie Bell. Okay. Tommy Huxley says, Ayuk won't be extended, guys. I wouldn't think so, especially if they extend Bosa. Which is kind of sad that Ayuk won't be extended because, man, I wish that man all the best. But I feel like the Niners think that they can replace him really easily because they're pretty good at drafting receivers most of the time. And I kind of agree with them. I mean, it's sad, but yeah. Your worst 49ers player this year. Starter, I'd go if Isaiah Oliver is playing, that is easily the worst starter. And then another one would probably be, I'd say Colton McVitz. But I don't know. It's too early because like a lot of these guys haven't really proven anything. Bebop Jones is a Niners fan. That's what I thought. I get it mixed up with another guy that's a Rams fan. In the case the Dolphins don't reach it, wishing you a good 49ers season. Thank you. Does Bosa get it signed? I talked about that earlier in the show. I think he will, but there's definitely mixed signals. John Lynch thinks he will get signed, and then you have Bosa's agent thinking he won't get signed. That means there's division between the two. Yeah, I don't know what the 49ers are doing because they're kind of stuck in a pickle. Like, Nick Bosa has all the leverage, unlike Deebo Samuel last year, who had none. I see Deebo getting traded before Ayuk not getting extended. Oh, wow. That's hot take. Deebo getting traded before Ayuk not getting extended. Well, I could see the Niners possibly trading George Kittle. I know everyone hates to see it, but George Kittle is getting old, and you could still get like some decent picks for him after this year, barring that he doesn't have a super injury plagued season. So if you trade George Kittle, get his contract off the books, which is like, I think it's like $13-14 million, or maybe it's 18 million. It's in the teen range. I think you could see them possibly making room now for Ayuk. And that's a hot take, but I just like George Kittle's getting older. So if they trade Brandon Ayuk, yeah, maybe they extend. If they trade George Kittle, maybe they extend Brandon Ayuk. I don't think they trade Deebo Samuel. He's like the cheat code on offense when healthy, unless he has another crazy good season. Deebo Samuel having another crazy good season? Yeah, but here's the thing with Deebo Samuel. Have you seen his body type now? He's slimmed down a lot. He has transformed his body. Fruity and oh my god, you love Grant. Just trolling. Hey, I love him too. Really good guy. Yeah, I wasn't meaning it that way, Tommy. Ben, is Wilkes an upgrade over your last defensive coordinator or nah? Unproven, man. He has more experience than D'Amico Ryans did, but I think we have a worse defense than we did last year, especially in the secondary department, which I almost thought at the beginning of the offseason that we had improved. And now that I'm looking more and more into it, we haven't improved. And so I think we have a worse defense than we did last year. I honestly, for right now, I'd say it's an upgrade because of the experience. But as far as talent wise goes, yeah, we got worse, I think. Deebo's hamstring issues, weight issues every year, and him as a pure wideout is the problem. Yeah, but he looks like he's slimmed down. So I don't know. Bebop Jones says 100%. Ben, could you trade Ayuk or Deebo for a starting right tackle or at least an average right tackle? Yeah, probably. I'd do it. I'd do it. Well, I don't know, man. Because if you trade one of those two for a right tackle, then who would you I guess you could draft someone like the third round, but I don't know. There's no guarantee that you can just draft somebody and replace a top 15 receiver just like that. But I bet that's what the 49ers think. I bet the 49ers are thinking we don't need both of these guys because we can just draft and replace another one. And I'm like, that is complete bullcrap. Because I know that Kyle Shanahan thinks because Kyle Shanahan has a huge ego. He thinks that he can replace one of those receivers, but I don't think he can. Because if you look back at the history of the 49ers draft picks within the Shanahan and John Lynch era, Deebo Samuel, Brandon Ayuk, Nick Bosa, I'm trying to think who else. Dre Greenlaw, Fred Warner, like there are some good picks that they've made. But the 49ers have also missed on quite a few players as well. I would not be willing to take a chance on a rookie wide receiver to fill the shoes of Deebo Samuel, the likes of Deebo Samuel or Brandon Ayuk. I would not want to take that chance. Ben, any plans to go watch your 49ers live either in Santa Clara or any other spot? I was about to last year because they were playing in Denver. I'm glad I didn't go to that Denver game last year because I would have shot Jimmy Garoppolo from the stands after he made that game-sealing interception. Oh, I felt like killing him that game, like literally. No, I'm just kidding. But probably not. Tickets are expensive these days, and I live a long way away from Santa Clara, so. It doesn't seem like there's any comments. I just got all of your guys' comments. I did not expect it to be a this long show, but I am not complaining because you guys did a great job showing up today. The fan interaction was amazing. So guys, I'll be back probably with a video. I'll be posting clips from this show. I'll post. I haven't been doing this a lot, but I will start doing it where I'm going to start posting fan comments. Like I'm going to start posting clips of me answering fans' questions. I don't do that usually, but I will. So I'll post clips like that from this show, and then I'll continue to post clips. I'll be posting an AFC prediction, playoff prediction tomorrow. That's just going to be a video. I'll be changing this background soon. I'll have a new intro. Big things coming for the Camper Report. Big things. So violent, Ben. Jake, just kidding. Hey, every 49ers fan was feeling that day. Have a great night and week. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, guys, we'll see you, everyone. Big things coming for the Camper Report. Great fan interaction. Keep it up, everyone. We had a lot of people in here tonight, and usually I only have this many people when I have a guest on. But this time it was just me, and you guys still seem to show out. So I thank you guys so much. This is what I do it for. I do it for you guys because sometimes there are days when I really don't want to like post a video, and then I see the comments and you guys are like, I love this. Like I had a guy comment on my video and he had like 100,000 subscribers. He was like he's a gamer. He does gaming videos. Never have heard of him, but he commented on one of my videos and said like, I'm addicted to your uploads, the Camper Report. Keep the uploads coming. And I was like, that's what I do it for, that's what gets me motivated is you guys just really giving me support. So thank you, everyone. But thank you for watching. It's been a great Saturday night. Man, we'll see you later on in the week. Hey, before I start losing people, okay? Big announcement. I haven't announced this since the beginning of the show. I'm going live with Steelers Nation Australia on Tuesday afternoon. Or no, actually Tuesday night. I'll be going live with Steelers Nation Australia Tuesday night to break down. I'm hoping to get a once a week show called Know Your Opponent. It's basically where I bring in a content creator from the opposite team that the Niners are playing for that week, and we break down the game. So next week is going to be Steelers Nation Australia, an Australian Steelers content creator. He's going to drop some hot takes because he thinks that Brock Purdy is hot garbage. If you want to go check out his channel, the link is in the description. So that will be so exciting. Know your opponent. I'm going to be able to ask him questions about the Steelers. He'll be able to ask me questions about the Niners. We'll chop it up. We'll have a nice, lively debate. So Tuesday, and I believe it's Tuesday. Hey, before you guys go, let me tell you the time so you guys will have something to look forward to. It's Tuesday at 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Pacific time. I'll be posting that stream soon. That should be a lot of fun. So that's what's going on. And then later in the week, I'll probably have another NFL show. Yeah, really smart dude. So go check that out, everyone. Have a good rest of your night.